They were saying that we needed to take this mark. It went on your right hand, it went on your forehead, just like the Bible says. And instantly in my heart, in the dream, I knew that this was the mark of the beast. I knew that the intensity of it was going to be insane. I knew that the persecution was going to start getting really bad from this point forward. Now, what I remember in the dream is they sent out these little giant things. I don't believe that these giants are actually going to be there during the tribulation, but what I believe that it represented was the persecution that's going to come behind the mark during the 7-year tribulation. What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. If you guys are new, which you guys probably are, please be sure to like this video, subscribe, do what y'all need to do. It would be a tremendous blessing to me. And anybody that wants to hear this video and see this video and needs to hear this video, it would be a blessing to them also. Now, pretty much I actually filmed this video yesterday, but I didn't really like the way that it looked and I was stuttering a lot and things like that. So today I'm going to refilm this video. Hopefully I can explain it in the same amount of detail. Hopefully I could explain it so that you guys understand what was going on. But what I'm going to be talking about today is the dream that I had about the 7-year tribulation. Now, if you guys don't know what the 7-year tribulation is, this is a 7-year period that is going to take place in the future, and this is going to be a time where God judges the earth, where the Antichrist comes and he sets up his kingdom and all this crazy stuff that happens. I had a dream a few years ago where God was giving me a little bit of insight concerning this dream. Now, the crazy thing about this dream was I think God was using things like giants and stuff like that, and I think it represented something. I didn't take everything in this dream literal, but I feel like the things that he was showing me in this dream, it actually represented stuff that is going to happen in the future. Now, I'm not going to get too much into what the mark of the beast is going to be, none of that stuff. This is just going to simply be me telling you guys a dream and hopefully giving you guys my interpretation of what this dream was. It's going to be very simple, but what I am going to get into is the dream that I had concerning the 7-year tribulation. Now, pretty much I had this dream a few years ago. I was actually really interested into like what the mark of the beast is going to look like. I was really interested in all this different stuff, and I believe God gave me this dream. It was extremely vivid. Usually when I have dreams where I'm at my old house, I feel like God's speaking to me a lot of those times, and this dream took place where I was at my old house. Now, this dream was actually pretty creepy. It was very, intense. So I'm going to get into the details of this dream. In this dream, I was at my old house, and I remember like this big alarm went off, and they're saying bam, bam, like it was weird like that. This huge alarm went off, and pretty much they were saying that we needed to take this like mark. Now, in the dream, it wasn't like the mark of the beast. They didn't say you guys need to take this mark of the beast. They called it something else. But like I said, I'm not going to get too much into it in this video, but pretty much they were saying that we needed to take this mark. It went on your right hand, it went on your forehead, just like the Bible says. And instantly in my heart, in the dream, I knew that this was the mark of the beast. I knew that the intensity of it was going to be insane. I knew that the persecution was going to start getting really bad from this point forward. Now, what I remember in the dream is they sent out these little giant things. Now, these little giant things, they had like these huge swords on their waist. I don't believe that these giants are actually going to be there during the tribulation, but what I believe that it represented was the persecution that's going to come behind the mark during the 7-year tribulation. So pretty much these were extremely intimidating giants. They were like huge, they were smart, they were intimidating, they had a lot of strength, they were fast, they had these huge swords, and these things were going around to make sure that people took this mark. They were telling people to take this mark. Like I said, I believe in the dream it represented the amount of persecution and the intensity that's going to come behind taking this mark. And the reason that you have to be really firm in your faith of Jesus Christ, because the intensity is going to be no joke. Now, these things, like I said, were extremely smart. They're extremely strong, all this crazy stuff. I remember this one part of the dream. I was on this slide, and during the dream, this huge creature, like I said, had a sword. This thing was like climbing up the slide extremely fast, like almost like an animal, like it was climbing up on all fours. And I remember in the dream, we were on the top of this slide, and right before that little giant thing got up, we had to slide down the slide. Pretty much what that showed me in the dream was that the only way that people that are alive during that time period are going to be able to escape this persecution is if they literally hide or if they outsmart these things. I even had another dream that I can't remember as vividly, but it was another tribulation dream, and for what I remember, it was the same thing. We had to outsmart, the people that were trying to force this mark on us. But getting back to the dream, these things were extremely intimidating, and we had to slide down. It had to be like a perfect timing type of thing. And the only way that people are genuinely going to escape this persecution is either to hide or outsmart these things. I'm telling you, there's no way. And during this tribulation period, when the Antichrist has a system set up, he's going to have it set up so that if you don't take this mark, you're going to get beat, or you're probably going to starve to death. But it's okay, because the people that are alive during that time period, they have to endure to the end so that they can be saved. God will strengthen the people that are alive during that time period. Now, pretty much what I get from this dream is this, that we need to be ready for the return of Jesus Christ. I don't know the exact day or hour that Jesus Christ is coming back. I have my beliefs on when he is going to come back, but one thing is for certain, we have to be ready for either the day that we die, or we have to be ready for the return. Jesus said to be ready because he's going to come like a thief in the night. One thing that I do believe from the bottom of my heart is that we are going to experience some type of persecution. The Bible talks about in Matthew 24 how people are going to be delivered up and they're going to be killed because of what they believe. They believe in Jesus Christ. So I believe that us as Christians, whether it's in the tribulation, whether it's not, we're going to experience some type of persecution. That is unavoidable, because the closer that we get to the end times, the closer that we get to the millennium kingdom, I believe that things are going to start to, get worse and worse and worse. And whether we're alive during the persecution or not, I feel like we're going to experience something. So I'm telling you guys, prepare, be in your word, pray, seek after the righteousness of God. Don't allow fear to overtake you, but allow God to strengthen your faith, so that, God forbid, if we have to go through something, we're ready, and we're not just like, oh, I wasn't expecting to go through anything, because I don't believe that's going to be the case. I hope that you guys understand that all 12 of the apostles besides John was literally martyred for their faith. Jesus Christ himself was taken up to the cross. Look at the way that he died, the most gruesome death of all time. And he said that the servant is not greater than the master. One thing I don't personally understand is why Christians feel like we're exempt from any type of persecution whatsoever. People in different countries right now are dying for their faith. But because we're in America and we feel like the freedom that we have, we act like, we're not going to go through anything whatsoever. I just don't agree with that. Like I said, I'm not going to go too deep into anything, but I just don't agree that we're not going to go through anything whatsoever. So like I said, I hope that this dream inspired you to take this thing seriously, to show you that we need to be ready. We need to be ready for anything that is going to come on this earth. And we need to start preparing. We need to get in his word. We need to, be in prayer. We need to do those things because it is extremely important. And we could already see the signs. We know that there's been famines. We know that there's been earthquakes. We know that there's been diseases. We know that things are going to start unfolding. And we know that we are in the last times. And if they were in the last times back in the biblical times where the apostles were going out preaching the gospel 2,000 years ago, if that was the end times, then how much more are we in the end times as of right now when we see all this crazy stuff happening in the world? We have to be ready. And even if you feel like you're ready, ask God, am I ready? And he will give you more insight on your heart. He'll give you more insight on the things that you need to know. Listen, I pray that this video blessed you. And if it did, please be sure to comment down below, share this video, do what you guys need to do. If you know that it will bless a friend, send it to them. And without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video.